this case, we're going to say boa noite. That's Portuguese, and forgive me if it's not perfect, but it's been 10 years since I've been to Brazil. But it is the last time I had one in Brazil. And there's a picture of me in Praia de Futuro, in Fortaleza. And as you can see, the shirt still fits me. I've lost some hair, but the shirt still fits me. And at the end of the day, I think that's a good thing. I think I'd rather have less hair, but also still be able to fit into my clothes from 10, 11 years ago. So the Caipirinha is famous the world over. Not a lot of people know it, and it's got to be one of the easiest cocktails in the world to make, but it's got to be one of the most difficult to pronounce. So again, forgive my Portuguese, and I believe it's Caipirinha. Portuguese, for those who don't know, it is a Romance language. It is similar to Spanish and Italian. However, it's got more of a French twist on the accent of the words. This is a very down-to-earth, basic recipe. You don't need any fancy equipment. They don't even measure. I, however, like to measure because I like to know how much I'm drinking, and I don't want to have 2 of these, and then if I over-pour it, it's more like I had 3, and then I have a headache, and then I can't enjoy the rest of the evening, or whatever the case may be. But I always measure. Outside of that, there are no rules. You take a lime, you slice off the sides, you cut out the middle, and you just cut it into 4 pieces. So yeah, this is half a lime. And the reason is that end stuff, you want the essence of the skin, but you don't want that white part, which gives it like a little bitter taste. So you cut out that center part, you cut off the ends, just throw it into a glass like this. And you don't want to use a flimsy glass because we're going to be muddling this with the sugar to break up the lime and the juices and the oils in the skin. So you want something that you could really mash down. This is a muddler, for those who don't know. It's like a little mini baseball bat. You can get these other ones that are made of metal with a plastic end. I'm going to use the wooden one today. And the sugar, it's basically a teaspoon, which is basically 2 packets of those little ones you get in diners and coffee shops. Or you could just use 1 or 2 of these cube ones. I like these cube ones because you know exactly what you need. You don't have to rip from the packet. I'm just going to do 1 because I don't like mine too sweet. And we simply just muddle this. What we're doing is we're mashing up, dissolving that sugar. So I'm going to use, rather than cubes, I'm going to use these little moai guys because they're a ½ ounce, they're smaller, they break up and they melt more easily, and that's closer to what crushed ice might be. The problem with crushed ice in a drink like this is you're typically drinking this on the beach, or on the beach in Brazil, and it's melting so fast. So the second you add anything to crushed ice, it's going to melt. It's going to melt almost instantly. You don't want that. You want this drink to stay cold. You're nearly on the equator. You're on a beach. You're in Brazil. It doesn't even matter if you're in your own backyard. You want this to melt slowly. So 2 ounces of this. It's that simple. Stir it. And just stir it. It's that simple. It couldn't get any easier. It really can't. And for one of the world's most interesting cocktails with the world's most interesting spirits, you really can't beat it. Got my bar towel here. Got this at the 99-cent store. Never believed what it would cost me. And that used to be a trick joke, but the fact is that everything in the dollar store is now $1.25 plus tax. So things are getting real out there, folks. You may not be able to go to Brazil, but you could certainly have one right here in a glass. You could have used a little bit more sugar, but that's okay. You really taste the cachaça. Now, what is cachaça? It is basically rum. A lot of people are going to say, no, it's different than rum, and yes, it is. But at the end of the day, it is made from sugarcane. The difference with cachaça is it must be made in Brazil, and I believe it must be aged. But on this little thing here, it says Unaged Cachaça Distillery of the Year. And then it says finished in wooden balsam barrels. So I'm a little confused. Maybe I have to do some more research. But again, cachaça is made from sugarcane juice. Rum could be made from sugar or molasses or sugar cane juice, there are less rules. There are no rules with rum. With this, they do have to have a specific set of guidelines, just like bourbon. It has to be made from mostly corn, must be aged. It got to be aged in a new barrel, not an old one. But the interesting thing about this is I went to 4 different liquor stores to find this. I don't remember that being the case 10 years ago when I came back from Brazil and I wanted to recapture some of the cocktails I had in a glass. They say it's not rum, but you will typically find this in the rum section. I went to 4 different stores and I couldn't find it, let alone some of these newer, fancier ones that are aged and are darker in color, some of the more luxury brands. This was $13 a bottle. A bottle of that other well-known brand that has a bat on it, it's a smaller size and it's the same price. So this is a full liter. So you're gonna get more drinks out of it. It's gonna be the same price. It's a lot more genuine, no neutral spirits. Again, there are laws regulating what goes into this and how it's distilled and how it's produced. It's funny because a guy from Brazil saw me in the liquor store and I'm looking. Bom dia, brasileiro. And forgive my Portuguese, but I said no, and I spoke to him in English because I don't really remember much of my Portuguese from when I was in Brazil. And he was talking about this. He goes, yeah, I'm surprised you found that because I have to go to liquor stores in the inner cities like Newark and different parts of Manhattan, like maybe even the Bronx, whatever. They just don't sell it. And it's odd that they don't sell it because this stuff, they sell over 1.5 billion liters of this per year. For every one of that bat rum, they sell like 9 of these. But the problem is that this is mostly consumed in Brazil, maybe other parts of the world, maybe in Portugal. I don't know, but it's funny. I'm glad I have a bottle. And I'm going to take a sip. Yeah, this is closer to what I remember tasting. And it's because of the sugar. If you kill this with a lot of lime and a lot of sugar, you're gonna lose the flavor of this. And you may not like the flavor of this. And if that's the case, sure, use white rum. Use vodka even, and then it's called a Caipirinha. And that's what I used to like. After drinking this all week, then I wanted to switch off. I said, yeah, give me a Caipirinha. So this way it's made with vodka, it's got a lot cleaner taste. But if you kill this with a lot of lime and sugar, the same drink, you would use a whole lime and you use 2 or 3 of these sugar cubes or 2 or 3 packets of sugar, yeah, you're gonna lose the taste. It's still very drinkable. I knew there was a thunderstorm coming because I was watching the weather, but of course it comes the moment I start to film this and the power went out. So I'm just gonna wait for the lights to go out again and enjoy my cocktail. Till next time, cheers, mahalo, and we'll see you soon. And I forgot to mention the most important thing. I do have a podcast at mixcloud.com. It's a playlist of some of my favorites, easy listening Brazilian songs from the mid-century. Hope you tune in. It's mixcloud.com/Lukeni. And Lukeni is LUKENI.com. You're going to get the playlist there. You're going to get the instructions and the recipe how to prepare this. Of course, you're watching this on YouTube, and you have the playlist to match. Saudade. Saudade de Brazil. Boa noite. Tchau. Adios.
Isn't happy hour anytime?